Oh, there we are. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Agent Circle Live. This is a weekly Friday, well, I can't even call it a show. It's more of an event, a gathering of minds and a gathering of experience and a gathering of certainly personalities. Today, we have two special guests. Well, actually, before I even go to special guests, let me talk about a little bit about our co-host. We have 𝘍𝘬𝙦𝙦, who is here today with us, but she'll be on in a second. She's out of Texas. Our amazing co-host. And then we have, I think Jennifer Jeffco is also one of our co-hosts, but she's not on today because she's busy going off taking another listing at the moment. And then we have Mr. 𝘍𝙬𝙦𝙦, who is actually in a few minutes here. He'll be speaking in front of a association of realtor out in North Carolina. So super cool stuff there. And then we have Mr. Walter Gonzalez, and I'm not quite sure if he's even here today. Oh, there he is. I see him now.
I am. I'm at a tire shop getting my tire replaced, but I'm no excuses. I got my book bag and my iPad. Let's go.
Walter, you know what? I love you, man. You never fail to show. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, you're always there. I love it. Doesn't matter where he's at. He's really at a coffee shop one day, the next one, well, today he's at a tire shop. Next time he may end up being in Disney World, like kind of, with the detour like you, Brandon, last week. And
yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Yep.
So we got our various different hosts across the US. And this is one of the great thing about this particular Friday events is that we have people literally from coast to coast. It's just really super cool. Today's special guests, we have two. We have Brandon Roberson and Jessica Smith. Both of them in their own right are phenomenal agents. For those of you guys who are not familiar with either one, they are both absolutely killer producers when it comes to real estate transactions. So they do anywhere from, I would say, in the high 30 to just topping off at 50. And here's the crazy thing, per year as a single solo individual agent each. Think about that for a second. So these are definitely two very strong producers who I highly respect. And certainly we all learn from them. And that includes me as well. So with that being said, today's Brandon and Jessica are going to be touching on a couple of different tips and tricks on how to navigate and have conversations and even how to convert for sell by owners and also expired listings. With that being said, I'm going to give the mic over to both of you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. We're so excited to just hopefully help give you guys a little bit, like a few more tools, scripts, and just confidence to go in and take some of these leads and start talking to more humans. The more conversations, the better. I may have to drop off early for my kids' Thanksgiving meal, so I'm gonna let Brandon share his screen. But yeah, I'll start in a few minutes. But Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you for the intro, Jay. And Jessica's right. All we're trying to do is just give you guys another tool in your tool belt. And there's a million ways to do this. This isn't the right way or the wrong way, but this is just one way. So just hopefully you guys can take something from it. So let me go ahead and get us shared. Go 1 second. So sorry. All right. Can everybody see it? We good?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So go ahead. Start us off, Jess. Let's go.
All right. So yeah, today we're just going to be talking about calling these leads. A lot of it is just basic conversations with people we don't know and some scripts and some objection handling, and we'll wrap up. I think Jay did a good job at introducing ourselves, but I'm in Austin, Texas, and more than happy to help however I can if anybody wants to reach out after this. But yeah, you're good.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah,
right.
I don't know where the words went, but we want to talk about this, number one, because we're lucky enough to be at this brokerage and we have these leads provided to us at no extra charge when a lot of agents are out there paying for these lists. So, and number two, it's good to practice talking to people with these people that we don't really know. We don't have much to lose, not a lot's on the line. So it's good to just get comfortable. I mean, they're just humans, and building rapport and communicating clearly the value that we can offer is more important than ever right now with everything going on. But yeah, it's just good practice. And then these sessions can help us practice. So when we get on the phone, we feel a little bit more ready and confident. And yeah, it's always I'm always a little bit less nervous when I've had a few practice times.
That's
So,
right. And guys, just keep this in mind too. All of these notes are going to be made available to you. And this, we're going to run through the bulletin points, but all of this right here, you can refer back to it later. Just, if we go too fast or we skip over something, and it's all going to be available for you.
Yep, absolutely. So the whole goal of calling leads, talking to leads, all of this is to get in front of them face to face. We all know it's harder to say no, and they're going to fall in love instantly when they meet us and when we get face to face with them. So the first step in getting face to face with them is actually getting them on the phone. So that takes a little bit of persistence, a little bit of just repetition. A lot of times we're like, oh, awesome, claim, call once. And then we forget and get busy and move on. But yeah, Brandon, I know you have something to say about this too. It takes some follow-up, huh?
Yeah. That's, for me, that's the biggest thing about for sale by owners and expireds and, just the whole FSBO game. So, when somebody puts a sign in the yard that says for sale by owner, they're gonna get like 70 phone calls. Like, depending on your market, they're going to get a ton of phone calls, right? The first week. The next week is going to be, I don't know, 40 calls. And then it's just going to continue to dwindle down to where it's like week 7, week 8, and they got a few stragglers calling week 9, week 10. You're the only one left calling. They're going to choose you. So just stay persistent. You're not going to call them one time and get the listing. It's not going to happen like that. I've never had it happen like that. So just keep it in mind. And just like when you're calling buyers, it's the same idea. You have to continue to stay in front of them and stay top of mind and just stay persistent.
Yep. And it's not that they're bad leads. Most of them are going to end up transacting in the next 12, 24 months, whatever. So yeah, this is just kind of reiteration of don't give up. Yes, call quickly. But texting, email, we're lucky enough to have AI helping us as well. And then offer value. I mean, this is on another slide, but I really like to try to come from a place of value. And one of my amazing agents, Mike, is here, and he has built his business this way, and he has done this hundreds and hundreds of times. So he's going to chime in as well sometimes. I'm smart enough to know that I don't know it all, but yeah. Mike, do you have anything to add?
No, tons. There's so much to it.
Well,
I would just tell everybody first and foremost just to get the scripts. Just know what to say. And actually, I'll tell you where to go, so it's easy for you. Go to MikeFerry.com, register, download his scripts, because every other script you'll ever see is basically from him. It's Keller Williams, all their scripts from Mike Ferry. I never knew it until I went to Mike Ferry and figured it out. As I was like, this is Keller Williams scripts. So just know what to say or you're dead in the water. You have to know what to say. They know what they're going to say. And they're going to say, doesn't matter wherever you go in the whole country. Doesn't matter. They're all going to say 4 to 5 things. And that's it. That's how programmed everybody is. So there are some responses to that. And you have to internalize it to where you can just say it and know where to go with the conversation. And that's how you control the conversation, knowing what to say. So download the scripts and learn them.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. That's a good tip. Yeah. Having stuff in front of you just in case you run out of things to say is always good if you're me. Brandon, we can go to the next one.
Yeah.
And by the way,
the more you use those scripts, guys.
If anybody wants those scripts that Mike was just referring to, Tamara, thank you for dropping it into the chat box. There's a link there for all that.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. Yes.
So these tips are a little bit, they seem obvious, but it's true. Like texting, emailing is good. It gets your name in front of them. They may not respond, but it's kind of like a perfect storm. They'll start remembering you eventually. And don't give up. You can vary your call times and answer your phone. They might call back on a different number. So realtors are one of the only people that do answer your phone. But
hey, Jessica, do you leave a message when you call? Do you ever leave? Do you leave messages, or is it kind of like a?
And I have voicemail scripts as well. Yeah, sometimes I do.
Mhm.
I was taught to double dial, like hang up and call right back and just say, oh, sorry, your voicemail didn't pick up. So I wasn't sure if it went through, but
Yeah, that's good. We call it bulldogging.
yep. Do you leave a
Yeah,
message?
it's good. I do not. I don't leave a message. I just call them back.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, if I leave a message and they don't want to talk to me, now they know who I am, so they're really not going to answer the phone now.
Save you as
You
do
know,
not
so-
answer. Yeah.
Do not give them any
right.
warning that you're coming. That you're coming.
Right,
Don't give them any
exactly.
warning.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then it's good to just have time on your calendar when you know you have energy, you're not going to be beat up by the day or whatever time is good for you, but time block it and follow up with these people. We used to have a power hour where you just limit all your distractions and start dialing.
Mhm.
The chance to reach people, this was more for buyer leads. I don't know if it's the same for FSBOs, but call quickly and often the first few times because you're more likely to reach them.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
And this is, look, I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to for sale by owners, you have to do it religiously, right? You can't, this isn't something you can do once every 2 weeks. Like, you need to be on the phone for at least an hour. You know, I know teams, I've never done it to this extreme, but I know teams that they call from 9 to 12, Monday through Friday. That's what they do. They know they're going in, they're calling from 9 to 12, and they're just making call after call after call after call. So you can get that aggressive with it, but you just have to have some type of plan and like it says, a daily habit, and stay consistent for sure.
Yep. And they do that because it works. Like, I know Charles built his
Yeah.
business like this at the beginning. Mike built a business like this. Like, people wouldn't be spending this many hours a day doing this if it didn't work. So I know it can get discouraging, but you just kind of
Yep.
have to get in the right mindset and trust that it's a numbers game and every no is getting you closer to your yes. So just keep going and you'll get a listing.
Yeah. Totally.
We can go, I mean, yeah, we can text. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to hit on this a little bit. I know that I have 3 kids, 3 pets. I get distracted really easily. So when I walk into an appointment with a buyer or seller, when I'm about to start making, oh, Angela did too. That's awesome, Angela. But when I'm about to start making calls, it's important for me that I get in the right headspace. I have a song that I put on, like if you have a pump up song, that works, but just take a minute, turn everything off, do what you need to do to get in the right headspace. You can move a little bit, get your energy up, you know, and just smile when you're talking to people. They can hear that, you know, you really don't have anything to lose. So, but you have a lot of value to add. So you're finding the right fit. They're finding the people that see the value in what you have to add. And you're just trying to help people. Selling and serving. So get in the right headspace.
That's
before
right.
You're like, oh man, I have to do these calls. I'm going to be bothering these people. It's dinner time. Like, that will come through on the phone.
That's so true. Yeah, just, you're right about that, man. Like, the more you smile while you're talking on the phone, people really can feel that. You know, I learned that early on, and it's a definitely game changer for sure. I really like that little tip. Don't be bummed out when you get on the phone. If you're bummed out, just don't do it. Right.
Yep.
That's what I would say. Let's go on.
And then, just like any cycle to move someone from stranger to client, we want to ask questions. So that involves taking control of the conversation and just digging until you find the problem, you find the pain point. They wouldn't be listing their home or, you know, trying to sell it themselves if they weren't in some kind of pain, if there wasn't a goal to sell at the end of the day. So try to find out why, and try to make them feel understood. I like calling it, like, get on the same side of the table as them. It's not you against them. You're not trying to like force them to do something they don't want to do. If they object or have a complaint, I say, yeah, absolutely, I understand, or whatever. Like, make them feel seen and understood that you're on the same team as them. You want to help them. And then offer
that's, you know,
their problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. No, I was gonna say, that's, you know, that's one thing that a lot of people fall into the trap of, is they don't ask the seller like what they want, right? They just, you know, the scripts, you have to learn the scripts. I'm not downplaying the scripts. You have to have the scripts. Those are huge. but at the same time, you can't be robotic and just read off the script and try to just win the lead. Like you want to almost build a relationship as like a friendship, right, over the phone as much as possible when you're building that rapport. And that's going to help you take control of the situation. You're going to put them at ease. But like she was saying, when you're finding the problem, just making sure that you're asking like what's important to them, you know. And we're going to go over some of that in some of these scripts we got on here. But just remember, it's a two-way street, you know.
For sure. And be genuinely curious. And we can go over this. I mean, we can go fast through here. It's just like start the conversation, you know, get to know them a little bit. And then one of the scripts I like that's coming up, but like in a perfect world, if you could wave a magic wand, when would you be in your next house? Stuff like that. Just try to get them talking and try to, you know, find out not just what's your timeline, try to find out why and why the next place is going to be better for them. And then, remember that these are just humans. Don't overthink it. If they're jerks and don't want to talk to you, don't talk to them. Like, don't force it. Just get closer, call the next one, you know?
Yep. 1000%. I love this slide, the conversation starters, you know, and this could come in handy when you've kind of already maybe made the first call, right? And you're just trying to think of an excuse to call them back, right? So this could be a good list for you guys to refer back to. You know, hey, do you have any questions how to prep your home for the next year? So when you're adding value, like we've been talking about, right? You don't even have the listing yet, but you're adding value for that seller. You're building that rapport, you're building that friendship. So just keep in mind, this is a very good list just to refer back to.
Yeah. And speaking of value, John, thank you. Comps are valuable. I mean, who knows? I don't know if they have seller's disclosure, if they have all the things that they need in your state, but I have a frequently asked questions for sellers section of my website. Like, would that be helpful? Would you like me to send our seller guide? And just have a few things in your back pocket that might be valuable to them and ask how you can help. But yeah. Yep.
And kind of spread them out. Like, don't use all your cards. Don't show all your cards at once.
True. Absolutely.
You know, don't be like, yeah, I give you all this. And then what do they need you for now? Right.
Yeah.
They might not answer when you call back. So
you want another reason to text them next week. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. That's right. Less is more.
Yep. I think we touched on a lot of this stuff, but.
All right. Here's some scripts. So we're going to do a little bit of role playing. Do we have anybody who wants to give it a shot? Anybody out there? Jessica, how much time you got left
I have 5 minutes.
I was looking for you. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. All right. Cool. So nobody wants to go. Come on. Anybody? All right. So all right, let's do the first one.
Okay.
Should we just do the just randomly choose a name? No, I'm kidding. I don't want to put you guys in the spot. we love volunteers.
John wants to, guys. John wants to.
John?
Come on, John.
Yeah.
John, can you hear us?
Yeah. John or Mike?
How's that? Can you hear me now?
There he is.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you, John.
You guys got me all fired up with talk about Disneyland. I'm a big Goofy fan. Thank you.
Nice. That's awesome. Hey, one thing to think about these scripts too, guys, remember these are just scripts. So you're going to have to make them your own, right? This is just remember, scripts are just a guideline for you to be successful. So who's going to do it with me? Anybody? Or want me to do it by myself? All right, cool. So we're going to start with, you going to do it? All right. That's what I'm talking about. Step into the game. All right. So I'm in. So I'll just start it off. I'll say, you'll be the seller and I'll be the agent. How about that? You'd be like, I'm sorry, what's your name? I don't have.
My name is Leslie Conyer, San Antonio, Texas.
Nice. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to start it off and say, and I'm probably going to follow this script, but I may not do it word for word. So you'll see what it looks like a little bit like this. Hey, what's going on? This is Brandon with Epique Realty. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I was just calling about your house that you had for sale, and I'm actually doing a survey in the area. I was wondering if you could, have any time answering any questions for me.
Yeah, I got a few
You
minutes.
have time for that? All right, cool. This won't take very long. I know you're a busy person. So hey, let me ask you real quick. If you sold this home, where would you go next?
Actually, we're taking a new position in another state, like closer to Tennessee, and so so our job is taking us, or my job is taking my family to another place. So yeah, we were just trying to get it sold as quick as possible.
That's awesome. That's exciting. That's awesome. Then how soon do you think you need to be there? Like, are you moving 3 months, 4 months, 5 months? What's the deal on that?
So they gave us a 4-month window, but with the large family, we're just trying to, kind of spread it out just a little bit. But if we can get the house sold sooner rather than later, then, we'll move, within the next 30 days or so. But we have up until 4 months.
Okay, cool. So look here, guys. What Leslie did was he answered 2 and 3 at the same time, pretty much, right? So we got the motivation, right? We kind of already know some. So if you're going down the script, that's why it's important to learn it. You don't have to ask that question because you're just making him repeat what he just already said, right? So number 4 is a good one, but I would say it probably something like this. Hey, when you're listing your home, just how do you have it out there? How are people seeing your home?
Right now, we just got, of course, a sign in the yard, and we're just trying to tell as many of our friends and family members about it. We also went ahead and put up an ad on Zillow, so hopefully people can see it that way as well.
Yeah, a ton of people see Zillow, so that was a good idea. And then how'd you get the sales price? You just pulled it out of the air? No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
how'd you get the sales price?
actually, we talked with some of our neighbors. We had a neighbor that sold here recently, and so our houses are comparable. So we kind of went off of their price, and then also on Zillow there's a Zestimate down there, so we just kind of went off of that too.
Right. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, man, that Zestimate is crazy. Did you know that if you go on to Zillow and like you drop it, like I'm adding value right now, right? This is what I'm doing for lessons. So if you if you go on to Zillow, you can claim that property and you can kind of put in what you think the house is worth. So like if you want your house to be worth like 400 grand, you can just go in and type it in there. And that's so what I'm saying is don't always trust his estimate. It's not, I mean, sometimes it's a helpful guide, but you need to get you a CMA from a licensed agent and just have them really dial it in for you. And like I said, I can help you out with that. Actually, I'll do it for you.
I didn't know
I'll send
that.
it over to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess one of my questions is that one of my last questions is why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than list it with a real estate agent?
We're just trying to save as much money as we can. So it just seems like a good idea. I mean, it's kind of daunting, but we're just taking a stab at it and seeing what we can do on our own.
Right. How long do you think you're going to give it a shot until you decide to actually go with an agent?
So it's been out there for about 5 weeks now, and we've had a lot of calls in the beginning, but a few people came by, but really nothing serious. So I don't know. We'll probably give it another few weeks and see kind of what it looks like, and if not, then yeah, we may be reaching out to an agent. Okay,
gotcha. Well, look, I know I'm going to send you that CMA when we hang up, just so you can kind of get a good idea of what your property is worth. And then I've got a few other tips and tricks that I'm going to send over to you as well, just to get you familiar on some of the techniques that I use personally to sell your home. Are you good with that? Is that okay with you if I send that over to you just to give you an idea?
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, and again, the whole reason why, we kind of went the route of selling it ourselves was because, we were trying to save money on the commission. So
yeah.
Do you discount your commissions, or how does that work?
I take care of everybody as much as possible. There are going to be some guidelines and some things that, if I'm going to be the listing agent, I'm going to pay for a lot of stuff. So there's going to out of pocket. So, like you get what you pay for. You never heard that statement, so
right.
But I definitely do what I can to help people out. But here's another thing to think about too. Most of the time, and the stats show this, you can look it up online, but if you list it with an agent, you really are getting more money than what you're selling it for sale by owner. I know it seems like you're saving money, but then you got to think about all the headaches you got, right? You got to think about dealing with the title companies. You got to think about dealing with the people that are the buyers that are coming in and the buyer's agents. So, I mean, time's worth money too. And that's another thing that we bring value for. And another thing that we do to just to make sure that the transaction's smooth for you so you can get moved out to Tennessee. It's just another value prop. But I'll definitely give you a, definitely, I mean, I have discussed with my broker and everything, but we'll take care of you for sure on the money. But let's touch base and, let me call you next week, see how it's going, and see if you have any questions and see if I can help you out. And we'll just touch base. And when you're ready to list with an agent, I'll come over and I'll check it out. And here's the cool thing. So I work with a ton of buyers as well, right? So if you'll look me up, I've probably done 40 houses this year, right? So, and I've always got people in the pipeline looking to buy. So if I run across anybody, are you cool if I bring them over?
Actually, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, cool. And I'll make sure they're pre-approved and everything. I'm not going to waste your time, but man, I really appreciate you doing the survey for me. And like I said, this is my cell phone number. So if you have any questions or need anything, just give me a shout. Or
Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Leslie, have a great day. We'll talk with you soon.
Too.
Thank you.
That was awesome, guys. Just
Thank
a few
you.
things I want to add. I'm looking at the chat box here. I saw a few people mention standing up. Absolutely, standing up does help. I often do it myself when I'm on the phone with people, walking around, talking. You just have a different mindset, different posture, and that physical posture translates into a mental posture as well. So definitely that's a plus. However, I will say there's a caveat to that. If you are in a room with a customer, you probably don't want to be standing while you're talking. It's always much more inviting and more, it sets up a more comfortable setting for the prospect if you're all sitting down and leaning toward each other, kind of huddling up. But yeah, standing up is great over the phone. The other thing that I was kind of hearing back and forth with Brandon and also, of course, with Leslie, by the way, Leslie, clearly you're a pro. I can tell just by the way you're just carrying on and throwing those questions. So kudos to you, my friend.
Thanks.
The thing that I would probably say is I noticed that Brandon said something about CMA. We're throwing out CMA, ARV, DTI in some cases. Keep in mind that the client oftentimes won't know what we're talking about. So make sure that you actually say the whole thing out. So if you're going to say CMA, say, hey, listen, I'm going to put together a comparative market analysis so that you can have a better idea what your house is worth in this market, in your area, so that you can make the most informed decision possible, right? So they don't, a lot of time our clients don't know what a CMA is, even though, to us it's now second nature. The other thing that I would also add is that when we're talking to people, I see a lot of people are saying about the commission and whatnot. And that was one of the things that I was trying to listen for. It's like, okay, how's Brandon going to respond to that question when Leslie was saying, yeah, I really don't want to pay you, Brandon, or at least not too much anyways, right? So how do you mitigate that? And Dawn dropped here. She said that she offered a menu commission. I do the same thing. So rather than trying to trying to rebut them or even argue with them as to why I think, I should get paid what I get paid. And I'll be the first to tell you, guys, right now in this call, I'm not cheap. I'm actually really expensive and I won't budge, but there's a reason for that. But you can't just tell people, hey, up front, hey, I'm going to, stick to my guns to this number. They're probably going to be very uninterested in continuing the conversation with you. So the smart idea, and Don said here, is offer a menu of commission. That's a fantastic thing to present, show them that there's a tier system, so to speak. This is what you get if you want this percentage, and this is what you get. And it could be an actual amount too, not necessarily a percentage, right? But this is what you get for this, or this is what you get for that. And then it starts to at least open up the conversation for discussion. It's not so much that you're saying, pick this, but it's like, let's talk about it. And let me explain why.
I was going to say something really similar. It's all negotiable and they haven't heard everything that you do yet. So I don't want to talk about commission until I tell you my marketing plan, all the stuff I do. So yeah, I just kind of say everything's negotiable, we'll work something out. And also, if this is an amazing house in the market that you want to work, like if you want this in your portfolio, I mean, I don't like being rigid about that. If this, you can use it for marketing. You can, if this is in your, geo farm area, it's more than just the commission from these one sellers. If you figure out a way to work with them, that's a win-win. You can do just listed, just sold, open houses, events in their area. So just think long-term there. And even if this one you're not making as much as you prefer, it could, tee up a bunch of other opportunities down the road.
1000%.
I see Jane dropped a message here. I think this is an important one that none of us have touched on. Jane says here when she calls for sale by owners, it's important to ask if they are the seller. Yes, it's kind of important.
Yep.
Right. Yep, that's good. Hey, this is that other thing Jessica was talking about earlier was getting them to like emotionally engaged. This part right here sets them up. Like, I don't really, the top part, it's whatever, but this part right here is pretty key. Set them up with an emotion. So get them talking about the house. What upgrades have you done? Why is the home special? And then sounds like this is a great house. Why would you want to sell it? And really starting to dial in. It's just more questions you can ask. Oh my gosh, the house sounds so awesome. Why are you wanting to sell it? So you can dial in their motivation. So motivation is key, because that way it's going to guide the rest of your conversation.
Can I say something about the commission thing? It's eating away at me.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're on the phone with these people and they're saying, I just don't want to pay the commission. Like, the question is, okay, so the only reason you don't want to, you're not listing with an agent is because you want to save the commission, right? They're going to say yes. That's right. Say, okay, so if I bring a buyer, are you willing to pay me, the 3%? If I bring a buyer, anybody brings a buyer, are you willing to pay the 3%? Yes. They're going to say yes. They'll even offer that up probably without you even asking, and say, so basically, you're really just looking to save half the commission. So on a $15,000 commission, you're really looking to save $7,500, right? Yes. Okay, they're saying yes. So basically, then look, if I can show you a way that I can net you more money by listing with me, would that make sense to meet? Would that make sense for us to meet? Yes. They're going to say yes. And there you go. Now you have your appointment. And here's the catch with this. All for sale by owners, NAR runs a statistic. They all get a percentage. I don't know what it is. I forgot. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. For sale by owners sell for a certain percentage less than when listed with an agent. There's your commission right there. Bam. You just killed everything they're thinking about by doing that. It's gone. They can't fight with that because the numbers don't lie. So by listing with you, just mere listing with you, they're going to make more money. And it's proven. NAR has the statistics. You can look it up. I don't know where the link is. I don't know where to find it. I just say it because it's easier. But basically, you're going to net them more money. You've just killed their objection. And you've killed everything of why they should sell it for sale by owner. It's that easy.
That's right.
So just run through that. It's proven statistic. It's done. But you have to spell that out for them to realize it. But they've already said, oh, well, wait, you can show me how. Well, how would you how would you do that? How can you do that? That's exactly why we need to meet. I have an opening today at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Which would be better?
It's 20 to 30% less just for your number. You're welcome.
That's huge. Yeah, thank you. So there you go. And that's the way you handle that. Because they're just thinking, I want to save the commission. They're thinking I'm going to save 30 grand. No, it's not 30 grand because it's 6%. You're looking at saving 3% because you'll let me bring a buyer and you'll pay me if I bring a buyer. So it's half of what they're thinking. They just don't realize it. Once you make them realize it, then you've set yourself up for success.
That's exactly right. Good point. Good point. So look right here, guys. Like he was talking about, 20 to 30% less than houses sold by agents, right? So that's another just dynamite tool in your toolbox. Okay. Remember, all these you'll be able to get back to them and go through the notes and just really kick up your for sales by owner expired FSBO's intro script. Let you guys look at that at your convenience because we're coming up on time right here. And then common seller objections. So be ready for these, right? Be ready. Start learning what they're going to say, because like Mike was saying, they're going to say about 5 different things, right? I have an agent. How'd you get my info? I'll be ready, in 12 months, whatever. Just start learning the objections, because you're going to want to have you're going to want to have a solution to their objections, right? You want to be solution oriented.
Hey, Brandon, John, can I say
what you got? Yeah,
quick?
John. Yeah, for sure, bro.
Mike, that was great input. And Leslie, that was awesome what you did.
Yep.
I wanted to make this point. Leslie, when you said, I saw a neighbor's house, and that's how we priced it. I usually have my computer up and I have a CMA for the neighborhood. And I say, oh, which house? What sale are you referencing? 123 Main Street. Okay, yeah, I see that sold for 700 grand in 5 days. I see it has a pool. I see it has a lot of updates. I see it has a view. Wow, beautiful home. How long's your house been on the FSBO market? 30 days, 40 days, whatever you say. Were you hoping it would sell in 5 days like your neighbor's house did? Yes, I do. Why do you think it's not selling? Is it price? Is there an issue with the house? Typically, you don't know. And that's when I say, look, I go into homes with buyers and I think they love it. And we come out and they both say, oh my God, that sucks. That was horrible. Let's get the heck out of here. Buyers are not going to tell me, and I'm an agent, what they don't like about a house. They sure are not going to tell you, Leslie. And that's where an agent's value and benefit come in, because I can troubleshoot and determine what we need to sell against, what the pushback is, in helping you to get the price you want or even more, which makes paying my commission a second thought. You're going to get more money. We're going to sell it. I'm going to keep you on time. There's a lot of benefits to have an agent that I'd love to sit down and talk to you about, and share comparative data about what's sold in your neighborhood and how we can sell your house so quickly.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Kind of turn it against them, just you're making them see the whole picture. It's what you're doing, right? You're making them actually not stop looking through the rose-colored glasses. So that's good. Good job. That's awesome. Anybody else got anything they want to add in? We got a little time left.
You guys should take a look at the chat box. Antonella, well, I call her Nella Santos. She dropped in a PDF of something called a menu of services that she uses. I think it's great. I think everybody should download.
Can I chime in?
Absolutely.
Sure.
So Jasmine made a great point, and honestly, it's so important to have scripts. It's so important to know what you're talking about in an objection handler. At the end of the day, though, it is the last one that contacts them that wins. So that long game, that staying in touch, that checking in is really where it is. So if you're stressing out about calling leads because you don't feel like you know the perfect thing to say, really just a conversation and keeping in touch is really all you have to do if you're not ready to, go in there with crazy objection handlers where, I have friends that can, no matter what the seller says, they can come back with some amazing stuff. But sometimes just being friendly to them and staying in touch, boom, they work with who they like and they trust.
That's right.
What it always comes down to is relationship. And to Paulina's point, and the stat actually, this is also from the National Association of Broker, 75% of the time when a client make a decision to work with whoever it may be, it's usually the last person to speak with them. Not the first, the last. Because oftentimes the first person, I think it was maybe Jessica that mentioned this earlier. It's, hi, nope, sorry, I'm not ready for you yet. And then the second call, nope, that's not ready for you yet. And then a lot of people just give up after the second call. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a client a long time ago. This is probably about 5-6 years ago. And I vividly still remember that particular client because we're now friends. And basically what ended up happening was that I reached out to him, helping him in the beginning. We had a wonderful relationship. And then out of nowhere, his wife's sister, I think it was, came in and said, well, I'm an agent, I can help you. So he was out of, basically he was voted out. And so he didn't really have the ability now to form the connection between myself and, of course, him and his wife. So the sister took over. Well, it didn't quite work out. But the thing is, what I did was I consistently just follow up with them. It wasn't like, hey, are you ready to use me? Hey, are you ready to do something better? It's not about that. It's about, hey, how are things going? Right? I know you've been searching, just wanted to, see how the home search has been. Is there anything that I can help with, or maybe I can send you additional information on? It's never about like, hey, let me take over someone else's job. It's the relationship. And I did that for a period of about 3 months. And then they actually completely ghosted me for another 3 months, in which during that 3 months where they completely ghost me, I still text them about, once every other week or so, would call them, about once a month saying, hi, how you doing? And of course, would always send an email with some updates and whatnot. Again, not asking for business, just sending them information that I thought would be valuable because of their local market. And out of nowhere, after 3 months of not hearing them, completely ghosting me, I get a call and a text from them on the same day. Jay, are you available to talk? And so I picked up, went over there, met with them. Next thing I know, 30 days later, I think it was within 30 days, three weeks later, we were in escrow. So again, it does work. It is about persistence. It's about consistency for sure. It is about the follow-up. In fact, we always talk about it and we say it all the time. And honestly, it's 100% accurate and true. It is 100% about the follow-up. That's where the goal is. That's all it is about. It's about maintaining and making sure that people actually know that you care and really want to genuinely help them. So it all comes down. It doesn't matter what technique you use, doesn't matter what you say or how often you say it. It comes down to one thing. Do you have a relationship with them? That's the 75% rule right there. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's
it, Jay. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, follow up. Paulina said, be the last one to call. Like Jessica said, make sure that you're calling. Do not give up on these leads. These leads, guys, are gold. Make sure that you're using them. Okay. When they're coming in, if they're in your area, snag them up and continue to follow up until they either invite you over, listen to what you got to say, or they tell you to go pound sand. If they tell you, don't call me back, I'm not interested. Okay, cool. Whatever. On to the next one, right? Because last time I'm checked, I'm getting somewhere between 7 and 30 leads into our pond just on sellers every single morning at 6:03 a.m. They come across. I know I don't even set an alarm anymore to get up because my leads that come over wake me up in the morning. Ding, ding, ding. So anyways, just follow up. And if you guys have any questions or need any help, or if you guys want to role play any of this, feel free to reach out to me or Jessica, or, even Jay or John or Leslie or whoever, Paulina, just reach out to us, guys, because we're all here. We're all a team, and we're all looking to, I'm about to die. We're all looking, my computer's about to die. Sorry. I'm not personally about to die. Sorry. But yeah, so for, I know I said I'm about to die, but I'm not. But anyways, yeah, that's it, Jay. Yeah, that's all we got. The other
thing that I also want to touch on also, Brandon, is you mentioned something about being persistent and just kind of stay on top of it. I think that's another part of it. Obviously, building a relationship is the key and most important part of it. But the part of not giving up just because you feel like maybe they're not responding, I think that's a big part of it. I think that's where a lot of agents fail, is the fact that they feel like, okay, well, maybe this person doesn't like me, or I'm not the right person for them, right? I see that a lot. And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes they're just simply not ready. Sometimes they have to make decisions and weigh other options before they actually get back to you with any sort of of a response. I like the rule, by the way, Brandon, about how until they tell you to knock it off, stop emailing me, stop calling me, stop texting me. That's what I do too. I won't stop texting, calling. I mean, I won't do it every single day to the point where it's just like, but I will do it often enough where it's consistent, and just let them know that, hey, listen, I'm trying to see if I can do something with you, right? And that could be, once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever it may be, even monthly in some cases, whatever you feel is right. And that's something you have to get a feel for with that particular client, because some clients maybe need more attention than others. Some maybe don't care for that attention and say, you know what, I don't want to be bothered every 2 days by you. But the most important thing, and to Brandon's point, is frankly, just keep doing it. Even when you don't get a response. I told you, 3 months, they ghost me. Every 2 weeks, I was still texting and calling them. It doesn't matter. Just keep doing it until they tell you, you know what, stop texting me, or they unsubscribe from you. Then that says something. But until then, continue.
Hey Jay, this is Jasmine. I have something to add real quick. Couple things. One, piggybacking on what you just said, never ever take it personal if you've called, texted, emailed, and they have not gotten back to you, because that's happened to me several times, and they're just busy. Their kid got married, whatever. Like, it's never about us. So just make sure, because I had an agent that they're like, well, I'm embarrassed to call them back because they never returned any of my communication. And I'm like, just keep at it. And then they ended up getting the listing. So, never take anything personal. The other thing too, real quick, is emotional intelligence. That is so key, because as real estate agents, we all love to talk. So if we talk less and listen more, that goes a long way in building that relationship, because it's a relationship business. People are going to do business with whoever they like and whoever they connect with. And you always got to make sure too that you never come off as like commission breath, right? Like, I always base mine on what can I do to help you, because everybody's got some type of pain point, especially if they're a for sale by owner or an expired. You need to peel the layers of the onion and figure out, like, what the heck happened and what can you do to help this person. I never talk about commissions on the phone ever. Mine is just to get in front of them. And once I get in front of them, then we build that relationship, and then it just comes naturally. I've had agents where in the beginning, they just right off the bat, like, they're trying to close a person, like within the first couple minutes. It's like, no, like, don't do that, because it's not about you. It's not about commission. It's about helping this person get to where they want to be. So that's what's helped me.
Well, absolutely.
That's right.
Another thing that's kind of funny, Jasmine, is that, and by the way, I don't ever talk about commission either over the phone. It's always, belly to belly in person. That's when we talk about money, right? But the other thing that I find also, this is also my own personal experience. I don't know, there's no stats that I don't think I know of anyways, but just like anything in life, people actually find it really uncomfortable talking about money. Specifically the client talking to money about you and how much you may charge, right? And so they don't bring it up unless you kind of bring it up yourself. So if you don't bring it up, they're very unlikely to bring it up. Now, don't get me wrong, there certainly have been some clients who have said, hey, listen, how much you charge right off the bat, right? And then of course you have to deal with that scenario accordingly. But in most cases, in my own personal experience, whether it's the seller or the buyer, they actually don't ask you the question because they feel a little bit awkward even asking the question anyways. So save that interaction until you actually get in front of them.
That's right. It definitely is easier to do it face to face. That's like when Leslie asked me what it was, I was like, I'm definitely going to take, like in the role play. What I did was I pivoted, right? Like we talked about in the buyer stuff, right? So, hey, you know what? We're definitely going to take care of you on the commission side, but let's we bring a ton of value. So just make sure you're showing that to your sellers. And that's right. Y'all are spot on. Good job, Jasmine. And with the commission breath, you gotta build the friend, right? You gotta build the relationship. And I think that's key in any aspect of real estate, really, not just sellers or buyers or whatever. It's real estate in general. If you're cold and you're robotic, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah. And sometimes they do ask you point blank on the phone, like, okay, well, what's your commission? Because they've asked me that. And I just say, listen, that's such a loaded question because it's different. So I'd like to even see if this is something that I want to take on my plate. Like, I don't just sell any house. Like, I have to make sure that your house is sellable. And then it's kind of like, that's like a psychological game, because then they're like, well, wait a minute. Like, what do you mean? Like, my house isn't good enough for you to sell? And I'm like, I don't know. I need to come look at it. So what works better, today at noon or 1 o'clock? Because, like, some of them, they've been on market for a long time. They're angry, they're upset. And they're like, no, like, I need to know, like, what do you charge? So there's ways to get around that. And then have that conversation once you let them know what you're going to do for them. And then it's just like a smoother transition.
Yep. That's awesome.
I love that. And that's, by the way, that's coming from Jasmine, who does about 5 or 6 homes per month. So that's good advice right there.
Yeah.
This was such a great call, you guys. I really hope that we helped a lot of agents. So happy that this is being recorded, because right here, this is money, because those for sale by owners and expireds, sure, it's scary calling them for the first time, second time. You just have to kind of mentally block it out and just say, you know what, I'm going to do this for an hour a day. And then, you know, build up to it. Then the next week, 2 hours a day, and then 3 hours a day, and just have it time blocked and do, like, eat the frog first, right? Like, do what you hate to do first thing. For me, I'm the most energetic in the morning. And so that's when I make my calls. Like, I used to do like 3 hour blocks, 5 days a week. And then once I started getting deals, it's very difficult to do that. So now I have certain days where I do a 2 hour block or a 3 hour block, but it's something that needs to be done. And with this company, it's so amazing. They're giving us the data for free. I mean, that's unheard of. So take advantage. I mean, and if anyone has any questions, contact me anytime. I would love to help anyone that I can.
Yep. Thanks, Jasmine.
We appreciate it, Jasmine. And by the way,
Thank
that
you.
goes for everybody in here. Everybody here, you know, we are truly a very hyper collaborative organization here. So feel free to reach out to anybody. I mean, definitely Brandon has a lot of experience. Reach out to him. I think Jessica popped off at this point in time, but Jessica is, again, super amazing. System, tools, automations, you know, back end stuff.
Yeah.
She really has it locked down like nobody's business. John, as I've said before, you know, the guy who does insane amount of transaction, certainly the biggest one that I know of in a single day. You know, again, king of the heat right there. Jasmine, you know, again, we have so many rock stars here, guys. Lean into each other, learn from each other, collaborate with each other. This is what it's about. With that being said, we have reached the bottom of the hour. I appreciate everybody's time today. We'll join next week. I don't know if she's here, but next week we have Angela Kristen Taylor on. So that's going to be super fun. So please come back, join us next week. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Have a great one.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a great
you.
one.
Thanks, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye, y'all.